Hello and welcome to the UNICAL E-Debate Youth Cup 2021. Thank you to all the lecturers, students, and supporters for being here today. My name is Emizamira and I will be your chairperson and timekeeper for this session. Today's session will be educated by Mr. Farhan. Before I continue, let me brief you through what is UNICAL E-Debate Youth Cup 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, UNICAL E-Debate Youth Cup 2021 is an inter-UNICAL debate competition organized by UNICAL Students Representative Council USRC 2021 with the collaboration of the Orator Club MIDI, Malaysian Institute for Debate and Public Speaking MIDP, Students Representative Committee UNICAL MIDI 2021, and Campus Lifestyle Division CLD. This inter-UNICAL debate competition is intended to foster and cultivate the feeling of competitiveness and ensure the longevity of the art of debating in UNICAL. Besides that, UDYC 2021 will be the setting stone for the future debating competition in UNICAL. New talents will arise and represent UNICAL in future competitions. The objectives of UDYC 2021 is first, to equip UNICAL students with improved critical thinking skills. Second, to have more confidence to stand up for the truth when a discussion is promoting falsehood or inaccuracies. Third, to achieve enhanced teamwork skills and collaboration. Fourth, to acquire better poised speech delivery and public speaking skills. The details of the event is as follows. The format of the debate is Asian Parliamentary, which is 3 versus 3. Each UNICAL campus will send in one team, leading up to 12 teams to equal the number of UNICAL campuses. Each team comprises of 3 debaters and 1 trainee adjudicator. The competition started from yesterday, 25th of September, and will end today at 26th of September 2021. Tentative for day 1 is preliminary round of round 1 until round 4. And tentative for day 2, today, is quarterfinals, semifinals, finals alongside closing ceremony to wrap up the whole competition. With that, I have explained a summary of UNICAL E-Debate Youth Cup 2021. Now, let's continue our main agenda for today. We are going to start the quarterfinal round by reading the motion. The motion for this debate is this House would prohibit the K-pop contract. The members of the government side representing Unique Maitat are Anissa as the Prime Minister, Shazlin as the Deputy Prime Minister, Fanshurina as the government whip. The reply speech from the government side will be given by Shazlin. The members of the opposition side representing Unical MIIT are Alif as the leader opposition, Fatin as the deputy leader of opposition, and Patricia as the opposition whip. The reply speech from the opposition side will be given by Fatin. Before we begin, I will briefly explain the rules. Each of the main speeches is 7 minutes long. The first and the last minute of each of these speeches is known as protected time, which means that no points of information or POI may be asked by the opposing bench. The reply speeches are 4 minutes long and are entirely protected from POIs. As a timekeeper, I will mark the opening and closing of protected time with a single bang or clap once a minute and a second time at 6 minutes. I will also indicate that a speaker's time is up with a double bang. If a speaker continues for a further 15 seconds, the indicator will start with a triple bang, and thereafter continuously until the speaker stops. The indicator for the reply speech will start a single bang at 3rd minutes, double bang on the 4th minute. If the speaker continues for a further 15 seconds, the indicator will start with a triple bang and thereafter continuously until the speaker stops. Could I also politely ask that phones to be switched off during the duration of each debate? If you wish to use your phone, please mute your mic and switch off your video to respect the ongoing session. Participants, you will have a 10-minute grace period each if you are disconnected. Please continue your speech during that period. We will move on to the next speaker if you fail to reconnect after the grace period. So, without further ado, please join me in welcoming the first speaker of the debate, the Prime Minister, to the floor to open the debate.
Am I audible? Hello?
Eliza,
Yes?
cannot hear you.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Now can. Okay.
Alright.
Hello, I'm Eliza.
Yes, give me a second.
Oh, belum start lagi sebab the screen macam you cakap. Okay.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'll begin my speech in three, two, one. The smile behind tears. Assalamualaikum. Hello?
Yes, yes. I can hear you. I just have a problem with my stopwatch, but I'll keep in track of the time. Thank
Okay, I'll start again, yeah?
you. Alright.
Alright. The smile behind tears. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good morning to the respected speakers, precise timekeepers, honorable adjudicators, members of the opposite team, and members of the floor. Before I put forward my case today, I would like to define today's motion. This House will prohibits K-pop contract. K-pop contract simply means whereby K-pop idol signs a 7 years contract with their management agencies. Within this contract, the management agencies are able to control their diets, their love lives, and behavior. Under these contracts, K-pop idols are required to pay back their management agencies for the cost of singing and dancing lessons, their wardrobes, and living costs, among other things. Today, as a Prime Minister, I will be talking to you about why we should support this motion, why we agree with the motion, and my Deputy Prime Minister will be talking about mental health issues, our whip will rebut, and some of our team case. Ladies and gentlemen, we agree with the motion. Why? Because, first of all, over a decade, Korean artists have brought happiness and smiles to fans all over the world. But under the bright image and cheerful smiles that we have seen, may hide many tears of pain because it was difficult to stand where fans appreciated the path of an idol artist from the very first step in auditioning to become trainees in music label. Until debuting as artists, they have to practice and work hard with a music label or an agency that controls everything like a master of life. Aspiring K-pop idols known as trainees sign contracts with management agencies when the uh, sorry, when the trainee is as young as 12 or 13 years old. It may even take 10 years for an agency to groom the trainee and for them to debut on stage, according to the former head of the Korea Entertainment Law Societies. Both trainees and couple idols who have debuted typically live in dormitories when their management agencies control their diets, their love life, and their behavior. The K-pop industry is known for producing machine-like idols. Trainees are micromanaged as soon as they sign along the dotted line, becoming commodities designed solely to entertain. With little to no
Sure.
agency in their own life, no thank you. Potential idols are legally bound to these slave contracts in their pursuit to fame, sacrificing their physical and mental well-being, time, and money. Idols under such a contract often face harsh treatment, especially in their initial years, including the lack of privacy, starvation, and solitude, which has often been criticized as an attempt by management agencies in wanting to produce machine-like idols who are designed slowly to entertain. These contracts see idols putting their physical health in the hands of their agencies. Some trainees are forced to attend monthly evaluations, which see them weight. If they are found to have gained any weight, not only they are punished severely, but they are humiliated in front of their peers. Punishments include extreme workout sessions or crash diets to lose any extra weight gain. Companies justify this by claiming that idols need to look their best for television, adhering to beauty norms in Korea. But is this really the case? Some idols themselves seem to believe so, even with Sugar of BTS saying that he's thinking of going on diet, even though he is already underweight. But as he is in an
Feel I?
industry that requires him to come out on television, no thank you. I have no other choice. We have no other choice but to maintain his experience. Sugar's mentality here reflects how strict these contracts are concerning body weight, as he has no other choice but to keep losing weight in order to be marketable. From an outside perspective, these rangehold companies have over their artists' weight is a reflection of the power imbalance in the relationship between employer and employee. Sorry,
Speaker, are you there?
yeah, sorry. Trainees were monitored 24/7 and severely restricted socially, known as Christian. According to these artists, trainees are forbidden from dating to protect the image of the artist.
Feel I?
These rules is imposed
Sure.
more so on women to preserve their innocence and purity. Rules They also claim that their experience, girls and boys were segregated at all times, banned from communicating in any context in person or through the phone.
Sure.
No, thank you. From a human rights standpoint, this violates Article 17 of the International Convention of Civil and Political Rights, which states that no one should be subjected to arbitrary or unlawful interference with his privacy, family, home, or correspondence. It should note that South Korea has ratified this convention, yet they are in breach of its companies are being allowed to express their artists in this way, and know that the no dating ban is seen as prejudice basis against standards which remain an ultimate conclusion. We must remember that idols are typically at the age where they should be exploring healthy relationships, both platonically and romantically. Granted, these bans are usually lifted roughly 3 years, but at this point, the damage has already been done. Why? What will happen if this motion is accepted? The artists are able to live their normal life, uncontrollable life, where their privacy are not violated. Our stand here is clear. We want these K-pop idols to have a normal life, just like us, where our privacy are not violated by other people's. Contracts are, of course, essential to any business. There's no debating. From a legal perspective, it's wise to have the boundaries on file for prevalence. But what do we do when the boundaries between employer and employee are blurred? This contract see trainee lives become synonymous with their careers, everything that has a not effect on their reputation artists. It's almost as if they don't exist as regular people outside of the persona they adopt in front of camera. Employment contracts should revolve around the professional business relationship between the company. We I'll talk to you about the reasons. Through this reason, we propose. With this, I raise my case. Thank you.
Thank you for that speech. Now, please welcome the first speaker of the opposition, the leader of opposition, to open the case for their side.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. There is always a price to pay in order to be successful. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the chairpersons. So today our motion is this house will prohibit the K-pop contract. Straight to my rebuttal. First, Prime Minister should clarify to us, to all, clearly what is K-pop contract. So in the definition, the Prime Minister does not clarify us clearly, crystal clear about what is K-pop contract, why is it made in the first place, for what, how long is the training period, and what is the cost to make a K-pop group. So we want the government to show how with the prohibition of the K-pop contract is good for both the company and the K-pop idol itself. So the Prime Minister argument, it is not true. Why? Of course, firstly, we have to work hard. Every person have to work hard in order to be successful. This apply to anybody, including K-pop idol. They need to work hard. They need to train hard, dance hard, sing hard in order to be successful K-pop idol. In order to debut in a successful K-pop group. So the management did the contract in order to control the sake of K-pop idol to protect them for their sake of future, their career future in order to be successful K-pop idol. So we on the opposition side think that this they need to satisfy the need of the viewers. So the government today is trying to remove the problem about the discrimination, the control life, but at the end of it, they don't provide us a solution how to solve this problem. Government always try to they say always remove they they want to control from the K-pop idol. At the end, they don't provide us a solution how we could how we could do that. They don't clearly provide us the solution for us today. So, secondly, you say we have smiles behind tears. It is not true because you see there is many happy K-pop idol. In order to be marketable, they need to appear at their best. They need to have a lean shape, have a pretty face in order to be marketable, in order to be successful. It is clearly a norm. Who is pretty, who
Your
is
IDs,
talentful will be successful in their career, especially in the K-pop idol. With a good face, handsome, pretty, they can
your
dance
eye,
well, they can sing well, but of course they can be a successful idol. Sorry. So the Prime Minister said the dating life of the K-pop idol is
your
controlled.
eye.
Absolutely. Sorry, let me finish my speech. Absolutely not true. We have a dating K-pop idol that is is proven happily dating without the company restriction, such as Momo from Twice and Hechul from Super Junior, Harry from the Harry and Ryu Junior, the actor. We have a Hyuna and Idon. We have a happy couple in a company that the company doesn't try to control their love life, their platonically or romantically love life. They have their freedom. Of course, the company did the contract to protect them in order to be a successful K-pop idol. They have life normal life just like ourselves. So today we push and discharge a burden for the side of the government to prove us what is the benefits if we prohibit the K-pop contract for the sake of good of for the K-pop company management and the for K-pop idol itself. Before that, any POI? One, two.
Yes, I want to ask you. So, is it really important of beauty and handsome to stay in the agency? If the person was ugly, they cannot be an idol. So, is it okay? Is handsome and pretty and so on? Their life might be controlled. Is it okay to have that kind of mindset?
Oh no, I it is actually a normal in the world where handsome pretty people will be more marketable. I know that say if a ugly K-pop idol cannot be in the K-pop group, they can, but I we cannot say oh anyone ugly. It is discrimination. We sorry, but let me continue my argument. So the first argument is the freedom of the K-pop idol. So before they sign the contract, they know what the risk they sign. They have the freedom to choose. They have the freedom to consult their lawyer. They have the freedom to consult their parents in order to treat thoroughly through the contract before they sign to become K-pop idol. So the trainees know the cost of making them into a K-pop idol or K-pop group. So averagely approximately 1.8 million USD dollar to produce a K-pop group that is including an album that is a higher there's a high price to debut a K-pop group in, and every comeback they need to invest a lot of money. So if a contract is signed by two equal parties, this should be clearly reflected in the wording of the agreement. They know what they are signed for. The contract itself is to protect the K-pop idol. The training period, the trainees receive the training so they can debut with the company. So, but many frequently change their minds and try to move into another company. So the contract is prepared to protect the both company and the K-pop idol. So we concern for every stakeholder, the entertainment company, the K-pop group, and the K-pop idol. So there is always a price to pay in order to be success. For example, we say it is inhuman for employees to do overtime until midnight, but that is the price to pay to be successful. The contract is the price to pay to become a big K-pop idol. At the end of the day, we see that the many K-pop idol are dating and still with the same company. We have a married idol such as Kim Jong Dae or Chen from EXO that's married and still with the company and still with the group. So K-pop contract is made to protect the both company idol and the K-pop entertainment company. On the opposition side, we say that this K-pop idol knew it and took the risk in order to become successful K-pop idol. It is for the good sake of the K-pop idol. At the end of the day, it is their choice, and the company are doing it for the good sake of the people. So, on the opposition side, we are happily to oppose this motion. Choose clearly, choose wisely, choose opposition. Thank you.
I would like to thank the speaker for their remarks and welcome the second speaker of the I would like sorry. I would like to thank the speaker for the speech and welcome the second speaker of the government, the Deputy Prime Minister, to continue the case for their side.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Alright. I shall begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Artists, celebrities, prime ministers, and no matter who you are, even the high ranking CEOs or even the directors, aren't we still an ordinary human beings? What is the difference? Shouldn't we get the right to live? A chance to make choices in living? Well, if you believe what's good for you, you run for it. You tell people you can do this. Give a chance for people to run free whilst they still can't. Ladies and gentlemen, before I move on, Assalamu alaikum in a very pleasant, a bit wise panel of educators, accurate timekeepers, worthy opponent comrades, and last but not least, members of the House. For today's motion, ladies and gentlemen, this house would prohibit the K-pop contract, a group of famous people who become an idol of worldwide, and their life is depend on a piece of paper. We can deny this kind of a group that need to supervise, but people, why must a contract? Why is there a period of time to be controlled? From the affirmative team, we are proudly to stand the motions and we are agree to do so. Moving on, for
Yeah, I
today, I'll be doing, no thank you, I'll be doing three things today. Firstly, I will rebut the point that have been given by the opposition side. Secondly, I will present my argumentations. And third, which last but not least, I will summarize my speech. Well, firstly, ladies and gentlemen, they fail to understand this is about human being, a living life of human. Why do you need to be controlled with a piece of paper? We should have let them to actually make their own decisions that include their family life matter, love, eating schedules, and more. A contract should have been made to actually secure their life, not ruin them. Then we move on from what they say. They mention about it is not clear about my prime minister definitions on the contract. Well, members of the House, she has stated clearly and defining the contract, which contracts see idols putting their physical health in the hands of their agencies. And she did well on explaining. So, ladies and gentlemen, they fail again to understand that we have explained the effect of the contract. Well, I will not explain more about that. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, moving to my argument, which I will give you two main points for today, which I show you and explain to you the chances to make of choices of living, and then why the freedom life is important. Moving on. Why do I say chances to make choices of living? We need to give the K-pop, which is the group or the idol, a chance to choose their life, their way or life. Basically, what, how, where, and all about their daily life. This should have include their love, food, schedules, diet, and whatsoever that have been stated by the contract. So we believe they actually should have been not affected this bad on just a piece of paper that actually controlling most of everything. When we say a chances of choices, we meant by we are giving this group of people to make changes. Change sometimes can get a bad rap, but often viewed as disruptor also. But when one thing changes, others usually follow suit. So you see, changes shakes things up and breathe new life into old methods and routines. Not by forcing to get out of the roots, but we may not know we've been in to view things differently with a fresh perspective. Next, ladies and gentlemen, my second argument, which is the freedom of life, is important to be given for the K-pop members. We are giving them to run free. They are human beings despite the name is known for worldwide, famous, popular. They have feelings, right? And basically choices. We should have been more open to see what they really need. For this matter, we
Yeah.
propose to expand. All right, proceed.
So if the government is trying to tell us that this is all about their choices that they made, they should have a normal life. If the idol itself has really consented to this contract and knows these kind of consequences, shouldn't we respect that choice for him to do so?
Yes, we should have to respect. Yes. Thank you for the POI. I shall proceed now.
Speaker, you are on mute.
Sorry.
Alright.
Sorry. All right. I'll continue. We propose to explain why we give the freedom and prohibits the K-pop contract. A paper who lead their life instead of a person to speak and share their opinion. Freedom is basically to do certain things with your own free will. Ladies and gentlemen, freedom to do what you want, how you want to do it, Run your timetable, decorate or organize by what you like. Follow the interest and patience. With all of this, we could actually avoid them to have any health issues, especially from the famous among them, the stress, depressed, anxieties. These all could actually kill them. And is it worth to kill them just because of a contract that could secure anything, ladies and gentlemen? Moreover, ladies and gentlemen, we believe again to do so, which this house would prohibit the K-pop contract. We are helping to come to find their freedoms deeply fulfilling and make the most of them, to let them follow their interests and to build life that suits them. Members of the house, for today, I am proudly to propose. Thank you.
I would like to thank the speaker for the remarks and welcome the second speaker of the opposition, the deputy leader of opposition, to continue the debate for their side.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is undeniably extremely annoying when the government side try to exaggerate the life of these K-pop artists. Okay, so let me tell you why. First of all, moving on straight to rebuttals. First of all, they say that on the first argument, they said how they feel a lot of difficulties in their training years before they debut. This argument definitely cannot stand because in order to achieve everything, you must work hard, right? Like if you want to enter university, you must study hard. If you want to like get scholarship, you must study hard, including sacrificing your time, your mental health, like staying up late at night, for example. It applies to everything, right? So secondly, they say that the trainee usually aged among 13 to 12 years old. And at the same time, uh, they are controlled about their diet, about their lifestyle, about their behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, lifestyle. In in the contract itself, they don't explain what is the condition in the contract. One of the things in the contract is that they prohibit these artists from like drinking alcohol to involve in love affairs. Don't you think because they are minors, then it is important for us to keep in check with what they're doing? Don't you think that the contract is actually protecting them from love affairs, from like from bad behaviors and bad lifestyle that could completely destroy their own reputation? Don't you think so? And the third thing is when they say that like when the artist like failed to satisfy the company's standard, or like they did something wrong in their training years, they will be punished, right? And then they say the example of the punishment is they need to like do hardcore workout. Ladies and gentlemen, in the opposite side, we think that this is actually a constructive action. For example, if you did something wrong with your homework and then your teacher punish you to do more homework, right? So this is actually constructive and a motivation for them to be better. And like if we were to buy that, like for example, the hardcore workout be extremely abusive, right? Like they affect the artist's mental health and their own physical health. This is why contracts is important to exist. Why do I say so? Because when the company take advantage of their artists, like
POI.
extremely punish them, this is where the contract will play a role. The artist can
POI.
no thank you can file lawsuit to like sue the company for violating the condition in their own contract. Imagine if we don't have the contract, then how can we file a lawsuit? Like they don't have the evidence to stand to they don't have the reason to punish the company because they are not even violating any guideline, right? So this is where the contract play a huge role in the artist's life as a trainee. And then on the second argument, they keep saying about freedom of life, like how like how they want to prohibit this contract in order to give these artists freedom of life, freedom to like experience a romantic relationship and do what they want, right? But first of all, first point on this, everything have contract, and everything is for the and everything for the good sake of the company and the artist itself. Second point to this is that if they want, because a they don't spend like a detailed analysis on how this would affect not just the artist but the company itself. Like if we prohibit the contract and we let these artists do whatever they want, what will happen to their discipline? What will if before this they are not allowed to drink alcohol to avoid like any damage to their reputation, so that they can debut with good acceptance from people. Now that contracts are prohibited and then they are allowed to do whatever they want, they can go out and experience and social life like how they want it to be. Then what will happen after they debut? They don't they they did not state any like analysis on the effect, like how it affect the image of the artist and how it affect the company image. But at the same time, it doesn't matter because because the second speaker agreed to our POI that we must respect the artist's decision to sign the contract when they are already aware of the consequences. When they sign the contract, they read it, right? They discuss with their parents, they discuss with their lawyer. They know what will happen to them. They know what they will be facing in their training year. They give consent to that, right? So if they give consent to that, why should we prohibit the contract, right? They they agree to all of it to happen. And if they are room for abuse, they can file lawsuit like any other artist have done before. Like, okay, so in my argument, I will explain to you why the contract itself is crucial. Okay, first analysis, the K-pop quality, right? So what makes K-pop stand out from other industry? Like the quality, like their unique representation. The way they're sing while dancing, their wardrobe fashion, their eye-catching fashion, and then their less problematic life. Like we notice, there are not like much there are not like much issues and dramas in their love life compared to artists from other industries. Why do I say so? Because this contract protect their reputation. This contract allow them to have romantic life. Like we see a lot of K-pop artists are dating, but in but in in a good way, right? So to avoid own conflicts, right? And then if we prohibit this K-pop contract, what will happen? It will affect the discipline. If the discipline, like for example, if before this they are compulsory to like train to 7 to 8 hours a day dancing, now that there are no contracts, so it is optional. So what happened to their quality of performances, right? So there are two possible outcomes to this. First, like it will like totally drop their quality performance while performing live, or secondly, they will like spend more years in the company until they satisfy the company needs, right? So both way bring harms to to the artist and the company themselves. And then what will happen when the quality performance drop? Their rating view will also drop, and they will receive like criticism and backlash from the netizens. And then what will happen? The industry itself will have problems in their reputation, right? So not just it affects the artist because they receive criticism, which can affect their mental health, but also the company because they will receive backlash, and then the K-pop industry, right? Because they have because of the quality drop, because of the drop in their quality, then the K-pop industry itself will have problems in it. So that's why I've been prouder to oppose. Thank you.
Now, let us welcome the government whip to summarize the debate for the government side.
I can have a minute.
Yeah, sure.
right, am I audible?
Yes.
I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Just because of piece of paper, you are becoming a contract slave. Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. Thank you to the chairperson, the member of opposition side, and my members, my friend at the government side. Members of the floor. For today's debate, the motion is this House would prohibit the K-pop contract. Before I move on to my job scope as a whip for the government side, I will explain to the members of the floor what we are do for today. First thing first, I will rebut all the points that have been given by the opposition side, and secondly, I will stand with the government side and based on my teammate point. First thing first, I will rebut about what the leader opposition say that was totally wrong. Let me I understand what opposition want to say that work hard is everything, but did he know for most of them that work hard, most of the people are not getting paid because of they didn't get enough time of contract. Is it good when you do something you didn't get what you supposed to get back?
PY.
No, thank you. Let me clarify to you, yeah, the leader opposition, about the Hyuna was being dismissed by the company once they are dating, that being known. Hyuna and Edwon from a queue, and both of them are being kicked out because they date. The leader opposition, the leader opposition try to lie to us and give a wrong example and wrong clarification. You know what, leader opposition? Momo and Heju are being getting dead, but after years of debut. But do you know? So, leader opposition want to say beauty, handsome is everything. So, for people that don't have much look, so they cannot be a K-pop idol. Is it the beauty is everything, handsome is everything, beautification is everything? I think you need to change this kind of mindset. This is not good mindset. Beauty is not everything. Talent and everything is everything. Talent is really important. So because of their appearance, their life must be in control. I know they want to be famous, but not this kind of insane contract. How sure are you? Can this half imagine life being controlled? Can you guys imagine your life are being controlled? And you only say
PY.
because of what? Because of work hard. No, thank you. Leader opposition also said that smile behind your truth. Did you know how they are stressed? Most of them, some of them are being stressed, being have a mental health issue with this kind of insane contract. So you still want to support that this contract should be go on while most of the people, most of the K-pop idol has been most of them have a mental health issue. Is it normal to have this kind of issue? This is not normal. And also about the example, he only prepared for us about the famous person. But how about the non-famous person, non-famous K-pop idol like Pristine, and that most of people don't know? Did you know most of them are suicide? Some of them are suicide because of the stress of the contract and everything. Is it okay to suicide? This is not okay to suicide, to dying because of this kind of insane contract to control their life and everything.
PY.
And I also say that work hard is everything. No, I understand work hard, we can get what we want, but not this kind of insane contract. Can you live in this kind of contract? Before you make a clarification like this, can you live with this kind of contract? And also the leader opposition say also have the same thing, work hard is everything. Yes, it's okay to so is it okay to have this kind of life? Can you live in their life? Can you please put your shoes in your life where you can eat ice cream at the shop, where you can just go out wherever you want just because of this insane contract? Is it good? This is not good. Your
PY.
life will be controlled. No, right? No, thank you for now protecting them. Okay, I understand about the alcoholic issue and everything, but most of the K-pop people, they are being controlled and everything, and they are have their own law at Korea. Okay, protecting them. Yes, I know. Yes, company have a right, but with this kind of insane contract, um, how come we can say this is the right thing to do? Agency can agency of the K-pop need to do a contract that been can be thing like a normal people normal contract. This is insane contract to be done. So we have to force them to do something that they can't do just because of contract. Is it they are hardcore? Did you know the party leader opposition? Some of them are faint because the hardcore workout. Yes, I know we want the quality, but not to the mainstream of quality that we want people getting faint or dying because of the training that's so hard. Is it what you
You
want?
are.
Is it what you want? We just life. You know, most of them can think
Yeah.
wisely. Most of them are have a life before they are enjoy this kind of agency. But the agency can have a control, can control them, but not this kind of crazy like they can enjoy the ice cream at their life. Did you just live? Did you know, God? Did you know the house? We only live one. Can we just let this life one become a hell like this? This is not acceptable at all. This is miserable life to have that they are famous, so they need their life too, even though they are famous. Control their life, like my PM say. As K-pop idol need to have their life, member of the floor. Until when we want to normalize this kind of issue? Until when someone just about contract, they are starving. They cannot enjoy what they want because of they need to do whatever the agency asks to them to do. Dating, life, behavior. This the cause of them are being suicide. Some of them are stressed. The also reason why some of them to choose to need. Yes, they are slave of the contract and everything. They need a freedom. Let them just have the freedom. Make a good contract that not this kind of insane, miserable their life. Summarize. Can this house imagine you are being a slave just because of a piece of paper? You didn't have a freedom to enjoy your life. So as a government, we want to tell you that the K-pop idol also need a freedom into their life. Mental health, they are starving is really important. Last before I end my speech, as a government, we want this house to think wisely. K-pop artists is also a human and have a need to live others like human being. They have a right. We as a government we really support this motion as because of we care about K-pop idol and human right issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Government Whip. Now, please welcome the Opposition Whip to sum up for the opposition team.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wait just a moment. Okay, we'll start in three, two, one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a step back and let's see what uh, this motion is actually the stakeholders in this debate right now. So we have the idols, we have the company itself. Okay, so and the contract. Okay, so that's the main crucial thing that we're seeing here in this debate. So first of all, let's reclaim back what the contract is going on about. It's about them getting taken care of their wardrobe, their behaviors, their diet, their love affairs, and yeah, so those are the things. Okay, so let me see, if the company were to have an expert in, so like one thing that I want to tell you guys is that the government have not stated one bit of all that the contract, when we see that they control, is that you have an expert in these kind of areas who guide them into having a proper way of eating. So let me give you an example. So if you have a coach or someone who gives you a good amount of a good suggestion on how you should eat a healthy lifestyle. Because why that is important for an idol is because you have you have choreography, you have dancing, you have a heavy and busy lifestyle. Not because the company is saying so, because you have comebacks, you have shows to perform on. So you need a good health in that. So how do you get good health? You have to have a good diet. So the company here is trying to help
POI,
these idols
please.
by giving a good, no thank you, is by suggest by giving an expert for you to help these idols have a good healthy diet. Okay, and moving on, let's talk about the clashes here in this debate. First of all, is about how the government here is really strong on giving freedom to these idols, saying that these idols are slaves. They don't get what they deserve of. And I would like to say that uh, yes, idols have a different life from us, but that's because they have a different goal in the end. Because they're idols, they are in a publicity where not only the contract plays a role in what the government is
Your
trying to say
eyepiece.
about no thank you about privacy and all that stuff. These idols have taken up this kind of publicity, and because of that they have a different lifestyle that they should that what you say that they are in. And if okay, like say if these kind of issues, for example mental health occurs, you can't the government here is trying to blame this on the contract. And I want to say mental health, these kind of things actually these stem from the media, and also the like the citizens or people, the consumers who actually pressuring these idols into having this kind of preference. So like are they are trying to blame this on the wrong side here. I think for opposition we understand that uh, right here the demand is coming from a tight kind of standard, which is having a slim body, having good facial expressions and all that stuff. But through that, the contract here is giving a guide on how these things can be accomplished. And like my prime minister has already stated, this thing has been consented by the idols itself. And if you see like, oh, these idols don't know about this stuff, or like these idols don't know what they're up for and all that stuff, let me say that these kind of things have already been media blasted. They know also the struggles in what they have to achieve. Okay, and I would like to say about another thing in the clash is about the alternative, meaning like let's see the world of the government if this contract were not to be a hold. Okay, one thing, when you don't have a contract, you don't have someone legally being accountable if you are misused or mistreated. So just imagine if the contract were not there and the company still did these kind of mistreatments toward the idols, you don't even have a legal way for you to actually do a lawsuit. But on our side, with this alternative, having a contract, we have a legal way to hold them accountable, and these idols have lawyers who can do a lawsuit towards them. And okay, let's say even so, they think that this contract is irresponsible, inhumane. Okay, so what's the real issue right here? The companies are treating these kind of idols. And I think right now we have to understand that the contract here is stating that they are being taken care of, their lifestyle, their wardrobe, their love affairs. They have never said it that they would go to the extent to mistreat people. So I think the problem here is not about the contract, but it's about the companies who are doing these kind of mistreatments. So in the end of the day, we have to fix these kind of companies and not just try to remove a contract that has little to nothing related to these kind of issues. Okay, so uh, here I would like to stand on what the opposition is really trying to prove right now in this debate. Okay, so in our world where there is a contract, we have legal accountability. We also have a good way for the idols to take to have a good way for them to be taking care of their wardrobe, their their wardrobe, their health life, and their love affair. Okay, so by this, when you have when the other side is trying to say that they'll get mental health issues because they're being pressured, they are being mistreated. But in the end of the day, imagine if all these things weren't taken care of. They have to think about their own wardrobe, their own lifestyle, their own love affairs, their own music, and their own like choreography and all that stuff. Those are the things also can bring mental issues if they are not taken care of in a good way. So I think both ways, in the end of the day, these kind of issues still can occur. And for your information, these kind of contracts and companies do include a psychiatrist or a mental health guide for them to actually deal and cope with these issues. So I don't think these companies are mistreating them. They have also a way to actually proceed with to actually solve this kind of alternative. And I would like to say, if you're saying that they don't have the freedom to choose and all that stuff, let's give you an example. Right now, uh, big hit industry, they have let these idols to take part in their music and their wardrobe, their concept from the get-go. They have started this from the start when they debated, when like the government is trying to say that, oh, only people who are famous can do this. No, these idols have started their way from the get-go with their own concept, their own songs, their own lyrics. So I'm saying that we're seeing here that the contract is not restricting these kind of choices that they make. It's their preference to choose if they want to get involved, if they want to do their own choices, or also follow the guide and planning that the company has done. And these choices were not merely dilly done just to make sure that this is a burden to the idols. These are good, calculated choices that are made by experts, planning experts. We have all these staff resources being put in this industry to ensure the best result to come, not only for the idols but also the company, which also goes back to how the performance the idol can have, which is also the main goal of the idol itself, to have a good performance. So I would never be more prouder to oppose. Thank you.
I would like to thank the speakers for their speeches. Now, let's give the government and opposition side 5 minutes to prepare for the reply speech. Please be aware that the reply speech will be for 4 minutes and no POI is allowed. Alright, so now let us welcome the representative from the opposition side for the reply speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, my reply stage will go on three levels. First, I will tell you the flaws on the government speech. Second, I will summarize our point. And thirdly, why we win today's debate. Okay, without further ado, the first flaws on government speech. They keep repeating on freedom of life because when they sign this contract, they cannot have a normal life, like they sacrifice lots of their time being as a trainee. We told you, first point, to summarize, we told you that this is would not be a problem because it is justified. Because at the end of the day, both they cannot compare our life and this ideal life because at the end of the day, we both have different goals. We both have different things that we want to achieve. Of course, their life will be different from us because they want to debut, right? That they like it's a huge thing. Like they will catch the whole world's attention. Of course, it requires like a lot of sacrifice, like time and energy. And secondly, we told you that it's not that bad. We told you that it's not that bad until they can't even go out to have an ice cream. We told you how their wardrobe is provided. We told you how their meals is provided, but in a healthy way. And we told you how the artists still can date whoever they want because we give you examples on the reality, like the names of the artists that go out dating and living a happy life. That so every so like everything that they try to say is does not valid. And the second thing is they try to point out about there are possibility to have room for power abuse, like that the company might mistreat these artists. We told you that firstly, we told you that this is why we should have contract because hence they will have a legal way to counter back, right? They will have a legal way to fight back in the court in case the company mistreat them. And secondly, we told you that uh if like that the cause of this like if the problem is like the company mistreat the artist, then the entities that we should fix is the company. If we prohibit this contract but the company is still like that, then what good it will bring? In the end of the day, they will still mistreat the artist even without the existence of this contract, right? And thirdly, they told you how it will like impact on the artist, like suicidal and anything. We told you that this is not caused by the contract, but by the cyberbully from the medias, by the mistreatment of the artists. So in their world, if the contract is prohibited, then they cannot fight back. Then they cannot fight back in case the company mistreat them. And we told you that it is the cause of the cyberbully from the media, right? So the media and the company is the entity that should be faced, not the contract. If the contract is prohibited, this problem would still occur. Let's look at our side. We told you how on our first argument, we told you that we give freedom, that the contract is a way to give freedom to the artists. We told you that they can sign the contract if they want. That we respect their decision to sign the contract if they want to. And all the arguments on the government side cannot stand because we told you that they are already aware of what they will be facing if they sign the contract. They are aware of the consequences. They are aware of what will happen because of the publicizing from media. Of course, the media publicize about the life of a trainee, right? They already know what will happen. And then on our second argument, we told you why the contract is crucial in order to like legal accountability and how it will impact not just the artist but also the industry because without the contract it will like affect the artist discipline and their performance, their quality performance will decrease, and how they will get criticism from the citizen for their low quality performance, and they will affect their mental health. But the company also lost viewers, and then the K-pop industry also will have a problem. So why do we win this debate? We will win this debate because we don't only show you our stakeholders is not only focused on the artist, but also the artist, the company, and also the K-pop industry. While on their world, they only focus on the artist and don't care what will happen to the K-pop industry, which will cause much more problem if it happened. With that, never be proud to oppose. Thank you.
Thank you for that speech. Now, let us welcome the last speaker for today's debate to give the reply speech for the government side.
I'll begin in three, two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not fighting for a losing battle today. We believe in privilege and the right that people could get. Let's make it clear what we're saying today. The oppositions, they say we are not giving a clear explanations of the contract, which I believe they actually fail to listen what we have been given. And they said the freedom is not all. They also stated a lot about is it good to actually control them. You see, they are humans for God's sake. They are not robots. Without freedom, will be happy to pursue their career? Don't ask them. Ask yourself. Will you? So, only their careers matter, but their mental health doesn't. Well, oh well. There are tons of questions on this matter that the opposition fail to see and explain to us, or perhaps even accept the fact that we are letting them run free. And does this sound bad? Is it harmful of prohibit a piece of paper that could live? Again, the opposition is giving us insane explanation. What is wrong with choosing your own clothes? Even we choose our own clothes. What does it matter? Does matter okay in ourselves just because we do not know what to wear? Ladies and gentlemen, again, wake up. Why should we accept the piece of paper is okay to lead them while they can actually breathe and relax with their own movement? Even the babies also could given to walk on their own feet because they should, right? And then again, we don't want to know about what ice cream you eat, what ice cream they eat. And we also don't want to know about their outfit. To be honest, okay, the important things, right? Not about the wardrobe, clothing. The important things you fail to see is health issues. Come on, health issues. It's a big deal. It doesn't matter your age, people. Young adult health issues is not something you should be have forgotten. Moving on about the control diet. Experts to control their diet. All right, let's make it this way. Does one apple a day can let you survive just for the sake of losing weight? So let's look at the bigger picture. So what if the K-pop idols can gain weight? There are humans, people, not a mannequin. And we are having a feast, but the K-pop idols should have been starving themselves just to entertain us. Whoa, does it sound right? Because to me, that sounds very wrong. And we totally agree the mind is K-pop trendy, alright? But lifestyle be controlled to avoid them doing a vulgar behavior? Is it necessary? Especially for the grown-ups one. And ladies and gentlemen, this bother me actually. Do you like when people decide what you're supposed to do? Can you answer that? Huh? You what you do, what you say, what you wear, and even eat. You don't have to answer that because you know what? We are talking about the contract cannot lead people to live a piece of paper. That's why we need to abolish this kind of contract because this kind of thing is being normalized. When you enter their world, this happen. The contracts suddenly exist. So what other choices do they have? We are strongly agree that we need to cancel this contract and people can go pursue their dreams freely. For that, we are proudly agree with the motion. Thank you.
Thank you for the reply speech. With that, the debate for this round has ended. Let us give the adjudicator some time to discuss this round result. The adjudicator may move to their respective rooms. I ask the participants to please remain in this room.
Congrats.
Hi guys.
Hi guys.
Yo. Hi.
Bye.
What a great debate ya.
Korang tak nak on camera ke?
Kamera rosak tadi nak buka. Dia
Oh,
macam nak
patut.
hitam so tak nampak
Patut
I.
lah.
Just
Lain tak
dekat lagi.
laju. Sorry.
Congrats,
Korang,
everyone.
korang
Yeah.
semua apa? Diploma ke? Degree ke?
Korang apa?
Foundation.
Foundation.
Diploma.
Foundation.
Wow, kita orang diploma
Diploma.
je.
Oh, sama umur.
You guys semua berapa?
18?
Oh. Bawa setahun lah. I was 19.
Oh, ya ke?
Oh.
Ya, tak beza umur.
CA. Sorry, I believe this is a silent round, and I don't think judge need to announce the decision here and give the reasoning like now. So once everyone done, I think everyone need to move to the breakout room in the Zoom. Then after that, the chair will announce. Then after that, you can see the chair for ask for personal feedback. Isn't it?
Wait, let me just confirm with the committees first. Sorry.
Right. Oh,
Alright. So thank you to the adjudicator. Now, the participants may move to the main room for further instruction regarding the next round. Thank you to everyone for joining the session.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone.